Jalen and Jacoby is presented by Samuel Adams.
He is Jalen Rose. I am David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby. What exactly is it that we do?
We give the people what they want.
Later on in the show, we'll be joined by a gentleman named Rose Stradamus who has visions of the future of two NBA superstars. But we start with the Monday Night Football game last night. We will get into what got us to this point, but here's how the game ended with everything on the line. Justin Herbert throws a pass to Mike Williams. Marshawn Lattimore keeps him from getting the first down on fourth down, and the Saints win the game. With the win, however, there was a lot of reason to feel a little suspect about these Saints. Do you still feel like they are contenders to win the NFC?
I don't believe right now they're playing as such, Jacoby. First off, the guy who caught more footballs than anyone ever punched one of his teammates and was suspended for the game. Yes. The game starts and the defense gives up 4 passing TDs to a rookie quarterback. Also, Drew Brees is doing a lot of dinking and dunking. And it seems while the defense is having those miscommunications, one of those touchdowns, Mike Williams was so wide open, maybe I could have caught that and walked it in. They still have Cameron Jordan, who's a beast, and their defensive line is awesome. And Alvin Kamara is showing everybody that he's about to be the best back in the league this entire season. But in order for them to achieve their goals and really be looked at on the level of like those other top-tier NFC teams, they got to get healthy and they got to improve their communication.
And you mentioned Drew Brees dinking and dunking, but there was something else going on at the quarterback position for the Saints that was very curious. Sean Payton kept going back to what I call the Taysom Hill experience. They put him in early in the game. Some strange things happened with Taysom Hill. And then while he did, throw the ball all over and not play well. He did get 1 touchdown towards the end, but it's 3rd and 4, and you're taking Drew Brees off the field in a key situation and putting Taysom Hill on the field. What does that tell you about Sean Payton's sort of philosophy to this quarterback position with the Saints?
Well, Sean Payton's an offensive genius, and he and Drew Brees are respectfully understanding his challenges because that touchdown that Taysom Hill ran in that action, that was something that unlocks their offense. When you have Kamara going in one direction and he's able to run that in the way he did, that's not a play that Drew Brees could have made. And so they do a good job of having both of their backs out there and throwing them to him out of the backfield and showing lots of variations. But I'm not going to necessarily overreact to Taysom Hill taking snaps on big downs. It's going to be scrutinized when they don't work. I think the bigger conversation, it further acknowledges that he's not the starter and he's not the guy to replace Drew Brees when it's all said and done because he's still being used more like a gadget player at that position, which is okay because he's really effective and you want to get him on the field.
You know Jameis Winston is sitting on that sideline being like, I might get a shot at this before the year's over. Like, Jameis is there being like, Drew doesn't look great, especially in the first half. And there's a part of him that's saying, I could be what Teddy Bridgewater was last year, except without being an injured Drew Brees that he replaces. We will keep an eye on that. But there's something that was happening in that game that needs to be addressed. And that is the quarterback play of Justin Air Bear, as I call him, Justin Herbert. He was not even taking first team snaps. Not even taking first team snaps. Comes in the game for Tyrod Taylor, who had a punctured lung due to the medical team of the Chargers. And look at these deep balls that he throws. Like, he throws a great ball. He looks so good. And he was just inches away from getting that fourth down conversion to lead his team potentially to a victory over the Saints. I just want to recognize how well he has played as when you do your face in the hands thing, it really bothers me. Is it because I called him Air Bear? Air Bear is just the French pronunciation of his last name, Jill. It's not a nickname. It's just the French pronunciation of his last name. It is not a nickname. Go ahead, do your thing.
Well, no, I was going to say how this was an imperfect storm for the Chargers to me because they have one of the few black coaches in the NFL. They had a black starting quarterback who got his lung punctured by the medical staff. He was forced to go in there and do what he said was one of the toughest conversations he's ever had to have. and that's tell Tyrod Taylor that he's not going to be the starting quarterback. Now that's black on black crime in the NFL.
Well, when you look at the way that Justin Herbert has played, you would keep him as a starting quarterback yourself, wouldn't you, Jalen? Be honest. Look at these balls.
Well, now that he's out there and getting the opportunity, it justifies it. But I'm not going to Monday morning quarterback it, because what if he's thrown 4 interceptions? How would we perceive it as well? So I just feel bad for Taylor that he lost his job not only due to injury, but the way it happened. And it seems like just in life, everybody just moves on. Everybody just moves on. And I want everybody to always remember that when you have your personal pain, depression, or anxiety, there will be a lot of people to tell you how much, hey, I got your back, I care, I listen, I care. But ultimately, that's how I felt about that situation last night. I just felt like he got done so unfairly, and it really made me feel like I wanted to express that.
Understood. Well, Jalen, obviously the tragic injury to Dak Prescott, the reverberations continue to echo day after day after day since it happened. And the latest is Stephen Jones, not Jerry Jones, was on the radio and 105.3 The Fan, and here's what he said.
The stance has been that the plan was for Dak to be the Cowboys quarterback for the long haul, and that was Dak's message too. After yesterday, did that change, and do you see that changing in the future?
Absolutely not. You know, Dak's such a warrior, and he's been through a lot. He's always overcome it, and this is going to be no exception. Anyone can overcome anything and beat Dak.
Jalen, you said that Dak is the face of the franchise. What do you think about the sentiment from Stephen Jones?
I'm going to keep going back to this example. NFL players do not have guaranteed contracts other than their signing bonus. We've talked about that. We've had Richard Sherman on the show to talk about that. They're in a position when it's time to get paid and you feel like you have leverage, you must do it. I'm happy to see a lot of media members and fans understand that and not vilify the player when they hold out using their leverage to get paid. The example I've been saying all summer is D-Hop needed to leave Houston to get his money from the Cardinals. Once he departed, that allowed Watson to get his money from Houston. And then the owner was going to fire the coach, fire the GM. That's what happened. In Dallas, I feel once they paid Zeke and paid all of the other people, including Amari Cooper and the people on the defense, now in order to pay Dak, they're going to have to choose between him and Zeke contractually. And so now that Dak is injured, you can't tell me that you feel like he's the face of the franchise when you didn't pay him top dollar when he was healthy. Now you're going to be more committed to giving him a long-term deal after he comes off of a compound fracture of his ankle. Either that's going to be a severe discount or it's going to have so many incentives in it that Dak isn't going to want to sign it. That's why I feel like he's not being genuine when he says that.
I can agree with that. And one thing I saw with this injury, it looked so bad, it was so gruesome, but it looked like the timetable was going to be 4 to 6 months. Let's call 6 months. That puts you in April of 2021. That gives him plenty of time to get back, to rehab, to go to OTAs, and to spend time this offseason, prove that he's healthy, and get the deal that he deserves. And that's how I hope it plays out. Now, Jalen, there are from time to times when you see visions. You're like an oracle of the NBA. You see the future. And that is when you turn into a man named Rostradamus. Now, Rostradamus, welcome to the program. We saw the Miami Heat lose in the NBA Finals, and you saw visions of the future of this franchise, and it involved an MVP. Please explain, Rostradamus.
As the Milwaukee Bucks walked off the court, and big shout to them, though. The way you guys stood up for social justice, it's outstanding. Amazing leadership. I am forever grateful. We're forever grateful as a society the sacrifices you guys made there. But on the basketball court, having the best record in the NBA and the reigning back-to-back MVP and not making it to the finals, I saw this happen before. The player name was LeBron James. And you know what he ended up doing? He left Cleveland for Miami. And Rostradamus believes if the Milwaukee Bucks do not achieve their goals, like making it to the finals next year, the hourglass is now flipped on Giannis's time being in Milwaukee. And that exit could now end up placing him in Miami, the team that beat the Milwaukee Bucks this year.
So what you are saying is if the Bucks don't perform up to expectations, Giannis will leave Milwaukee and head to the Miami Heat, just to confirm.
Yes, that's what Rostradamus believes.
Wow. Jalen, we have a huge Titans-Bills undefeated matchup coming up tonight. We'll preview that and much more. Stay tuned. You're watching Jalen and Jacoby.
Jalen and Jacoby is presented by Samuel Adams from Boston with Love. Savor the flavor responsibly. Part of Happy Hour.
Sport Clips Haircuts has made your experience even better with the on-deck text alerts. That means less wait time, more prime time. You'll get a 15-minute heads up when it's your time to head in. And another text alert when you're next in line. Sport Clips is giving you more ways to save time so you can enjoy your prime time. Sport Clips Haircuts, it's good to be a guy. Remember, being in your favorite Sport Clips, waiting in line for that MVP haircut experience, yeah, well, how about they made that even shorter? Now with the on-deck text alert, you get a 15-minute heads up when it's your time to head in. Sport Clips MVP experience is so much more than a haircut. You get a hot steam towel caressing your face, massaging shampoo that makes you melt into your seat. It's all part of the MVP experience and only at Sport Clips Haircuts. Sport Clips Haircuts, where it's good to be a guy. During these economically turbulent times, everyone is looking for a way to feel more financially secure. So if you're still needlessly throwing money every month at a high-interest credit card debt, it's time you checked out Upstart, the revolutionary online lending platform that knows you are more than just a credit score. Now is the time to find out how low your Upstart rate can be to help pay off high-interest credit card debt. Unlike other lenders, Upstart can reward you based on your education and job history in the form of a smarter rate. You don't need a degree or a diploma to apply, though. Upstart lets you skip going to the bank because it's completely online. They offer loans from $1,000 up to $50,000 so you can consolidate your debt in one easy fixed-rate payment. Upstart makes it fast and simple to check your rate. Since it's a soft pull, it won't affect your credit score. The hard pull happens if you accept your rate and proceed with your application. The best part, if the loan is approved and accepted, most people get their funds the very next business day. Over 400,000 people have used Upstart to pay off credit cards and meet their financial goals. Free yourself from the burden of high-interest credit card debt and get back to using your money your way with Upstart. See why Upstart has a 4.9 out of 5 rating on Trustpilot and hurry to upstart.com/Jacoby and find out how low your Upstart rate can be. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes. That's upstart.com/Jacoby. And don't forget, your loan amount will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Not all applicants who qualify for the full amount.
It's a new day on ESPN Radio with new voices that have big things to say. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin.
That's how you build a winning culture.
The Dan Lebatard Show with Stu Gatz.
You are like the Einstein of life.
Greedy.
How ridiculously good was that?
The Max Kellerman Show.
Why not get out in front of it?
And Janae and Golick Jr.
I knew we were destined for greatness.
All day, every day.
Big names, new voices.
It is time to go to work.
Real talk. Weekdays on ESPN Radio, ESPN News, and smart speakers everywhere.
Coming to you live from Pier 17 in the South Street Seaport and brought to you by Chase. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. It is time for the segment where Jalen decides what we discuss. It is Keep It Moving. If you would like to discuss topics, say hit the brakes. If not, we will keep it moving. And we start with the battle of the undefeated Buffalo Bills going up against the undefeated Tennessee Covids. Sorry, I meant Tennessee Titans. Jalen, you know that I have jumped on the Bills bandwagon, and I can't wait to see my Buffalo Bills beat the Titans tonight. Do you think they will go to 5-0 on Tuesday Night Football?
I believe the Titans find a way to win because people like you making slight remarks about them trying to sneak into practice during COVID and not quarantining basically 10 days after one person got the outbreak. It's fascinating they're going to continue to play these games, but I have a number for you, 256. That's the number of games the NFL will need to play for everybody to complete the season and get their full checks. So they're trying by all means to play these games.
I just want to say this on wax that Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs have become one of the best quarterback receiver duos in the entire NFL, and you will see that on display tonight on primetime Tuesday Night Football. Moving on.
Derrick Henry.
We might know who the new coach of the Houston Rockets is. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
Our guy Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting that Ty Lue is gaining momentum to become the Rockets coach. Jeff Van Gundy, our colleague, will also meet with the team. Jalen, what do you think about the fit between Ty Lue and the Rockets?
Here's the one thing I want everybody to pay attention to, and this is what happens if you become the kind of great player that James Harden has become, a scoring champion, an isolation master. You get used to playing one way. The challenge for the next coach is going to be to get James to play and move without the ball and cut offensively. And that's going to have to be somebody that's able to earn his trust and communicate on a nightly basis. So I am not surprised you're throwing around names like Ty Lue and Jeff Van Gundy because that's a couple of their specialties.
I really hope they hire Ty Lue because I think that would be great for the organization, and I love Jeff Van Gundy in the broadcast. Moving on. The Lakers have an update about their potential parade. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes. All Lakers hit the brakes.
They are going to delay their public celebration, a.k.a. parade, because of COVID-19 safety concerns. Is it weird to have a parade for the 2020 championship in the year 2023?
No, dog. You got to delay it. This the 17th tie for most of all time. You need Clipper fans to watch this up close and personal. You need to take your time, plan this, and let them wait as long as possible. Put this in the crock pot. Put this in the oven. Just let it simmer. Don't get a parade until as many people as possible can come, because everybody thought either the Lakers or the Clippers would win the championship. Everybody thought that. Nobody thought that the Clippers would get bounced and not play against the Lakers? Oh, man, this is going to be one of their favorite parades.
Jalen, Patrick Mahomes says he can do another unworldly thing. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
I see him do unworldly stuff every Sunday. Keep it moving for now.
We keep it moving. We keep it moving.
A gentleman by the name of Garrett Gilbert has been hired by America's team. Let me tell you a little bit about Garrett Gilbert. He was drafted in 2014. He has been on the practice squad or the team for the Rams, the Patriots, the Lions, the Raiders, the Panthers, the Apollos, the Browns, and now the Cowboys. Do you think this is the future of the franchise for the Cowboys?
I think Jerry was like, I'm just going to pick somebody that I believe not going to take a knee.
Yeah.
Can't make this up.
Well, we'll see what Mr. Gilbert does during the national anthem. Moving on. The Braves stole game one against the Dodgers in the NLCS. Austin Riley's ninth inning home run from the ninth spot led an offensive surge. Then they took game one. Jalen, will the Dodgers and Clayton Kershaw win game two?
Dear Major League Baseball, I'm one of the only black Americans that continue to support you guys, whether it's regular season, postseason, whether it's the regular full schedule or the abbreviated schedule. And the thing that I love is that the Atlanta Braves are now allowing their players to actually have fun, dance, celebrate, wear chains, and enjoy themselves.
Hit the brakes, Reg. Hit the brakes again.
Actually out there having fun, enjoying himself.
Jalen, you are not one of the only black Americans that still support Major League Baseball. I just need to say that out loud into a microphone, just as a correction for the program in partnership of Jalen and Jacoby.
You do know that sport is 8% black, right? You do know that, right?
Yes.
Their audience is vastly different than the NBA and the NFL.
Also a fact. But the idea that it's like you and 7 other black people are the only ones watching Major League Baseball at this point is absolutely not a fact. And I will not allow you to say that on a program with my name on it. We will keep it moving. Jalen, are you interested in seeing one of the greatest, if not the greatest, knockout in the history of mixed martial arts?
Yes.
Let's see it. I know you might have seen it on Sunday or Saturday, but we got to show you now. That is Joaquin Buckley. And watch his foot get grabbed and watch what he does next. Boom! Oh! Without putting his other foot down. Jalen, how amazing is this knockout?
He almost knocked the mohawk off that dude. That was crazy.
He sure did. Every week,
what a way to make a living.
All of the NFL football, and then we break it down into one single takeaway. The Tuesday takeaways are next on Jalen Jacoby.
That's how I look with my shirt off. Let me show you.
Please don't. Go to break. Go to break. Go to break. Go to break.
Jalen and Jacoby is presented by Samuel Adams from Boston with Love. Savor the flavor responsibly. Part of Happy Hour.
You don't want to miss this one. Vasily Lomachenko against Teofimo Lopez. That is Saturday night at 10 p.m. The World Lightweight Championship belt is on the line. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen, we each spend all Sunday and Monday night watching all of the games in the NFL. And then on Tuesday, we bring you Tuesday Takeaways. Tuesday Takeaways is the one thing that we each synthesized and broke the entire NFL weekend down into. Jalen, what is your Tuesday Takeaway?
In my favorite Master P voice, get your paper! So many times we get caught up in the accolades and the stats. You know what I want? When people show me appreciation, the cash that could change the dynamics of my family for generations. And when you see somebody holding out because they feel like they have the leverage to get that, think about Dak Prescott's injury. There's a big difference between signing a $30 million deal and a $150 million deal. And so now he's going to go into free agency in April when they're drafting new players into the NFL with a compound fracture in his ankle, trying to figure out where he's going to be playing football next year with an incentive-laden contract.
Jalen, my Tuesday takeaway is also depressing. It's hard to get old. I'm 43, you're like 57, and we're just the aches and pains and creakiness, and we saw it in the NFL this weekend. It started all the way back on last Thursday when Tom Brady wasn't playing well, had a senior moment right at the crucial part of the game at the end. You saw it last night with Drew Brees just not playing great, especially in the first half. And let's not forget Philip Rivers. Just because he's on the Colts, a lot of people give him a pass. Philip Rivers has been pretty terrible this season as well. It is hard to be a professional athlete over 40. We all saw LeBron James almost win the MVP and win the NBA championship. He's 35. There's a big difference between 35 and over 40, and you are seeing it every Sunday in the NFL. Go ahead.
And you left somebody out, Matt Ryan. And what this tells me as we do cultural and regional, the league, that position, is getting away from the older white guys. It's getting away from them, dog.
It really is.
It's getting away from them. You got Mahomes, you got Jackson, you got Watson.
I'm watching Josh Allen tonight, quarterback the Bills. Josh Allen can run the ball. He can throw the ball. I love him so much. Make sure you check in with us tomorrow, ESPN at 2 p.m. and subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. We have new podcasts every single day.
You're far too kind.
Remember being in your favorite sport clips, getting set for that great MVP haircut experience? Yeah, how about if we made that wait even shorter? Now, with Sport Clips On Deck text alerts, when you check in online or with our app, we'll text you a 15-minute heads up when it's time to head in. And when you're the next man up, you'll get another text to come take your seat. Less wait time, more prime time. Sport Clips. It's good to be a guy.
We always have podcast exclusive content for the people, and sometimes we get to discuss things that they wouldn't allow us to discuss in the television show like this. Jalen Rose. Cardi B had her 28th birthday, 28 years young. She was gifted a $330,000 Rolls Royce with a custom baby seat for her daughter Culture by her husband and baby daddy, right in the wake of rumors of divorce. Offset. Jalen, do you think a mutual birthday celebration and a six-figure gift means that they're back together?
I think I need to say this a little louder for the people in the back. I, in a lot of ways, not only love Cardi, but I appreciate that I could tell she speaks from the heart.
Oh, yeah.
She has a potty mouth. She definitely has that as somebody that doesn't cuss. However, when she speaks, I'm telling you, it reminds me a lot of myself because she goes from talking and then she all of a sudden, she gets passionate quick.
I love it.
She gets passionate quick.
I love
it. Right? And happy birthday to her. I'm glad she's living her best life. As somebody that has patronized Sue's Rendezvous, it's great to see somebody that's graduated and become an elite entertainer and a mogul and an entrepreneur. And how about this, Jacoby? Living her best life.
Oh, yeah.
When I watch her, does it seem like she's like, you know what, I'm going to just do it next week. You know what, I'm going to consider doing that next month. You know, I don't see that. I see I'm about to do this right now. I'm about to wear this bikini. I'm about to wear this purse. And this is my red carpet in my mansion. Okay? That's what I'm posting. And so, yes, that does seem like one of those baby take me back type of gifts. And the car seat, the custom one, is cold. It looks cold.
So hold up. Hold on. Hit the brakes. Hit the brakes there, Reg. Hold on. You know I got 3 little kids. I ain't spending that kind of money on a car seat. They spill milk on that thing, Rice Krispies all in there. Like, no. Car seats is not something you want to spend a lot of money on. Car seats get torn up. And that was like genuine leather embroidered. No. You can get the expensive car and put a cheap car seat in there. The amount of money that car seat cost, you just get disposable car seats. Just get 100, put them in the garage, then use them one at a time if you're going to do that. Because car seats get moldy and stinky
Jacoby,
and gnarly.
I learned this as a life trait. Sometimes, and looking down at your phone can cloud the messaging that you're taking in, as well as the messages that you clearly distribute. That car seat is for an audience of one. That ain't for the kids. That's for her to feel like that's an amazing thing that he put in the car. That ain't for the kids. That is not for them. That's for to pull up the car and hear everybody else. You heard the family and friends. Oh, Culture gonna be on it. And then he like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, you know what? All right, give me a kiss. You know, you got, like, because think about it. He could have gave her the car without people being around.
He could have done it off wax. Just doesn't end up on Instagram, doesn't end up on TMZ. We don't end up talking about it. Could have done that too.
Right, but if it's a get back gift, then you got to add the bells and whistles. And you got to do something for the shorty, because now it's like, you know, he is a great dad. You know, I ain't trying to be back out here in these streets, you know? So I'm happy for them. I support power couples. I feel like they're going to be together for an extreme long time. I really do.
I feel like
I'm rooting for them.
I also feel like they're going to stay married and be together for a long time, but she's going to threaten divorce about a dozen more times before this whole thing's over. And I'm fine with that. That's just kind of the dynamics of the relationship, and I'm cool with that. There's something about cars and kids I want to talk to you about, Jalen. It involves your nephew, Quincy, my son. He, ever since he was born, just listens to hip-hop trap music in the car, hip hop, trap, hip hop, trap, hip hop, trap. All he listens to. And then he loves the movie Cars, right? So he started listening to the Cars soundtrack. There's some country songs on there. So as a revolt against his parents, he decided that he loves country music. So now when we're in the car, he demands country music. So he knows that we don't like it, but he demands it. So I've been listening to some country music lately. First of all, country music kind of slaps. There's some songs on there that are good. Both me and my wife have been like, yo, this ain't so bad. This ain't so bad. Country music, there's Eric Church. Big shout to Eric Church, my guy out there. Put that in a country song. Second of all, should we indulge him with this? Like, how much should we lean into this? He's clearly doing it just to troll us, but it's working. Should we let him listen to country while we're in the car?
I think it's awesome that he gets a chance to listen to country because he's half white. And the reality of it is...
the same thing you did with baseball. Baseball and country music are not racial divided. Yes, there are more white fans than black fans that like baseball. There are more white fans than black fans that like country. But let's not act like there aren't black country music singers, black country music fans, and millions, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of them.
Do you consider rap music a black or a white sport?
It was a black sport. Fans or artists?
Artist.
Artists? There are decidedly more African American hip hop artists than the other way around.
Is country music a black sport or a white sport?
Say it again.
Is country music a black sport or a white sport?
There are more white artists than others. I'm just saying you're being dismissive and you're being a little black or white. There's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of crossover. There's intersection of the circles. That's all.
There are, and that's where I was going to get. And as somebody that grew up in the Midwest, I got a chance to get exposed to a lot of different music. Motown sound, people recognize, and the rest of the world got familiar, so it wouldn't surprise you for me to know those artists.
Mm-hmm.
Smokey Robinson, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, Jackson 5. It wouldn't surprise you if I knew those artists. But also being from Motown in the Midwest, I got exposed to different types of music too and different artists. So I would listen to people like Rod Stewart and know his music. If you really with me and you. So like if I'm singing that, people be looking like, how does he know that record? And so this is what Q is now doing. He's going to be able to be in a room with people that look from a lot of different backgrounds, and he's going to be versatile. That's dope.
There's few genres of music that I just really don't rock with. Like I would say there's certain types of electronic music that just like the house music that never changes. That's sort of that's some like a real like boomcha that never changes. I can't really rock with that. Like you ever see the guy driving down the street in his car mad loud with the like like club music going? I'm like, what's going through your head? Like it's like, did you come from the club? Like it's like that music that Reggie's playing right now.
Yeah, give me some Michael McDonald, some Careless Whisper. That's the versatility, dog.
So I guess I'm gonna keep letting him listen to
country.
Y'all should continue
to indulge it. Y'all should continue to indulge it.
But it's so catchy, Jay, that you can't help but kind of like it and sing along. It's so catchy. I can listen to a song once, and I know the chorus, and I know some of the verses the first time around. Big shout to country music. That's new in my life. I'm 43 years old. Just started listening to country music. Thanks to big shout to Quincy.
And also, when you're listening to rap and to trap music, you hear about this type of drug, and in country music, you hear about those types of drugs.
Mm-hmm. Country music, a lot of pro drinking. Like basically every other song is about drinking at a bar on a Friday night. Every song is I got off work on Friday, I drove my truck to a bar, I got drunk, and they don't mention the part where they drove home drunk. That's basically every country song. Every single one. Moving on, staying on music, Sway Lee of Race from Murd says that he wants to do a versus battle against Migos. Now, let me just say this out loud. Every time there's one of these proposed versus battles from an artist, it is a artist punching up You know what I mean? Like it's you never hear Nas come out and be like, I want to do a versus battle against Pharoah Monch. You know what I mean? Big shout to Pharoah Monch, no shots. But it's always like someone going up the ladder with their proposed versus battle. Do you think Ray Samurd and Migos deserve to share the same stage going back and forth?
Ray Shrimmer doesn't have the catalog of the entire Migos. So that's the equivalent of someone trying to battle, but then you want to go against the Wu-Tang Clan. It's like the Migos individually and as a group, it's stop the fight. Stop the fight. Like,
yeah.
We don't stop this halfway through the first round. Stop the fight.
Don't.
So I agree with you. People beefing up.
That's always how it is. Now, I want to tell you a story. It's a sad story, but it also involves something that you and I always discuss on the program, which is strip clubs. The Padres got bounced in the playoffs. Their player, Tommy Pham, was at a place called Pacers Showgirls International, which I think is actually what they call your era in Indiana, the Pacers Showgirls International.
I was like, that sounds familiar.
But he was there. He was there, and he left at 10:30 p.m., He gets to his car. There's an argument happening between two other people that he doesn't know next to his vehicle. He asks them to move. I don't know what happens next, but he ends up getting stabbed in the back. He's okay. No vital organs were hit. He took some stitches to sew him up or whatever. But Jalen, this is not the first Gentlemen's Club parking lot incident involving athletes. So I want you, just as a veteran in the game, someone who may or may not have been to, I don't know, every single strip club in the domestic United States multiple times. How do you handle getting from the strip club to your car and home safely if there is some static in the parking lot?
So you and I talked about this before, and we made a story time about it. And a lot of people thought I was being mean or being cruel, but I was just being honest. Being honest. There's two separate distinctions, by the way. There's if it happens during the day and I'm just being a normal civilian, walking a dog or going to UPS, versus if it happens at night and I'm out and about like at a strip club. Two vastly different distinctions.
This incident was 10:30 p.m.
Okay. The first instance is the one that people felt like I was being a little rude, but if I see someone in danger and that person is not somebody I personally know, I'm not interfering. I am not interfering because I don't truly know the root of their argument. They might not even know the root of their argument. So I'm not about to interject myself. And I learned that really young as a kid in Detroit. You mind your business.
Yes.
So that's kind of how I would play it. Now, if I saw something that I felt like was inhumane happening, like some sort of, domestic violence or something
child
like
abuse.
that.
Yeah.
I'll call the police. But I'm not physically going to get involved in it.
No. I think
if I'm go ahead.
All right. One thing I've learned with incidents that could be potentially violent or about to turn violent of people that you don't know, like you are a UFO, you're an observer of these things. When you try to interject yourself, no matter how sound your logic is, no matter how good your intentions are, you're not dealing with sane people. They're already mad. So no matter how peaceful you are or calm or right or wrong or whatever solution you offer, you're dealing with people that aren't dealing with sound logic because they are so emotional and revved up already. So you're best just to get out of the way. Now, I'm envisioning this, and I don't know if this is what actually happened, is they're having a little argument next to his driver's side door. I'm going in the passenger seat and I'm sliding over. You know what I mean? I just do not want to involve myself in other people's problems if I deem that is, as you mentioned, that is not some sort of child abuse, domestic violence situation. But continue.
And so we want to make sure we're not victim blaming, and we want to also acknowledge those who are willing to interject themselves, those courageous human beings. There's so many of them that exist that even fight for our country and take certain jobs that they know when they leave their house that they're putting their life at risk. That's why I didn't pursue one of those careers, because I don't see myself as that type of person willing to put his life at risk. If I'm driving down the street and it's a fire, I'm not like, oh, I'm about to go run in there and see if I can save a cat.
I'll call the people. I'll
call the fire department.
I'll call them up. Yeah.
Right? And so if it's at night, now let me give you the night distinction. The night distinction is way different because it's a whole different security set of rules. Usually when you go to an establishment, they already have security. It's security already at the establishment. I don't care if you had a club. I don't care if you had adult entertainment. They have security, which means that security either is responsible for the parking lot, the entry, or while you're inside. 3 levels, one of the 3, or all 3. If I notice that security ain't involved, I definitely ain't getting involved. And unlike you, I ain't even trying to get in the car right then. I'm gonna fall back and just kind of let the situation happen. And if it ain't nothing in the car that I need, I'll leave the car. I'll leave it. Because I ain't even trying to slide into the vehicle and then all of a sudden something break out, somebody pull out their gun. Now I'm sitting right there trapped in the car and they right at my door. So that's how I play it.
Just be safe, everybody out there. And I think the underlying thing about all of this is, y'all got strip clubs open in San Diego? What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? What are you guys doing? Let me tell you a story about my lunch yesterday. Big shout to Bob Chesterman, guy who used to work at ESPN. Every time it was raining out, he'd be like, it's raining out, we're ordering Chinese. So now I've got this Pavlovian response where I eat Chinese when it's raining out. It was raining out yesterday. Chinese restaurant in my neighborhood. They've got outdoor seating. So I go there. I get my hot and sour soup, Kung Pao chicken with veggie fried rice, lunch special style. And they're like, do you want to sit inside? Because it's 25%, you can go inside, right? I was like, no, I'm good. I'll sit outside. It was cold. It was raining, but it wasn't raining on me, but around me. And you know how bad I wanted to go inside, Jay? You know how bad I wanted to go inside? I wanted to eat inside so badly, but I'm not doing it because of the COVID-19 coronavirus. And I know that the numbers in Southern California ain't exactly crystal clear New Zealand style. You know what I mean? They still got COVID in there, and if they still got strip clubs open, I'm not going inside. I'm not going inside. Everyone stay safe out there. Coronavirus is very, 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 very real. Very, very real. We got time for 2 voicemails.
Vote.
We got time for 1 voicemails. 98580 Jalen is the number to call. Make sure you call. And if you call and leave a voicemail, we will put it on the show just like this. We got time for 1. What do you got?
Jalen Jacoby, what up, though? This is Lonnie calling from MIA 0305 Stands Up. Long-time listener. Is a multiple-time caller. I've been on the show before. Just calling to get some relationship advice from you fellas. Been in a relationship now 10 years. Been married for 5. Me and my wife, great, happy marriage. Everything is wonderful. I just turned 33. My birthday was actually October 5th. And for this new year and my new chapter in my life, I want to lose a little weight. I want to get back in the gym. My life, I've been an athlete and everything, so, you know, fitness is kind of big for me. It's been slacking off the past couple months because of quarantine, but I want to get back into it. My wife, on the other hand, is kind of resenting it because I guess she thinks I'm looking a little too good. Don't want to toot my own horn, but that's how she feels. You know, what should I do in this situation? How do I approach this? You know, I don't want to get my wife upset. You know, I tell her that, you know, I want to look good for her. You know, she obviously looks good. I want to match her fly. So, what are the advice? How do I approach this? You know, what should I say to her? But, you know, thanks for the help in advance. Keep getting them checks.
This is an interesting dilemma. First of all, shout to you. Shout to your power couple relationship. 10 years together, 5 years married. One thing I just want to say off jump is there are very few people that look better coming out to quarantine than in the beginning. There are very few people. Actually, they're out there. The people that are like, look, I had to do something to fill their day. They don't got kids. They're just like, hey, I'll just work out twice a day. That's just something to fill up my day. I'm not one of those people. Me, much like I think his name is Monty, I want to get back in the gym, but the gym got the COVID, so I'm just running around in the rain. But that's not about me, about him. There's a little bit of resentment. I think this is a thing. Like, if you're in a couple and one person in the couple decides that they're gonna get shredded, they're gonna eat right, they're gonna work out, and you know what? One thing that happens naturally is they start looking at the other person when they go try to get a late night snack, or they start to be like, oh, you're ordering dessert, or like, you're having a burger with bacon. Oh, okay. And then there's this. If you're not on the same page with your spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend, that can cause tension in the relationship. So, what is your advice when that happens in a relationship?
I have great advice on this one because in my relationship, it represents a duality because we're both public figures and work on television, which means not only do we need to look nice for each other in our minds, but we need in our minds to look our best to be on television. So that's two separate things. You look great. You look great.
Thanks, buddy.
And so what I learned to do in my situation is not bog her down with my fashion and or my health details. Because if I can't always be like, so, do you think I should cut a part in my hair? So, do you think I should wear a turtleneck? Because guess how often I will be asking this? Every day. You see what I'm saying? Every day.
Yes.
She can't come to me every morning like, what do you think about these shoes? What do you think about this dress? And to the point where it's like, we don't even know what each other wearing most of the time until we see the other one on television. And so how does that translate into diet and health? Because that means we're grabbing food from the same refrigerator, eating from the same table, usually eating the same meals at the same time. And Jacoby, you said it. So if I feel like, for example, I was in Detroit and I felt like I was eating bad. I was just eating bad for a few days. We all do it.
We all do that
and
sometimes.
So like when I got back to so in my mind, when I got back to the crib, I was going to eat good for the next couple of days to kind of balance it out. But then when I got back to Detroit, she was like, oh, let's go to the Mexican spot. And she want to order the chips, and she want to order the cheese, and she want to order all, and I didn't even really want it like that. You know what I'm saying? So I had to pick and choose my battle. So I ate some of it really, ordered me a little Mexi milk with no cheese, kind of, And so what I'm saying to you is, as you get on your health kick journey, you don't have to feel like you got to continue to say the details all of the time where it feels like, A, you're bragging, and or B, maybe throwing it in their face, especially if they're not doing the same thing at the same time that you are.
I have some thoughts on this as well. Number one, you can never be in the wrong if you're trying to live right. You know what I mean? Like if you're trying to work out and be healthy, don't let anyone dissuade you from doing that. Because getting your body right, getting your mind right, working on your mental health and your physical health, you're never doing wrong. But it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Don't throw it in your partner's face. Don't judge your partner for not being in step with you. You know what I mean? Like there was a time when my wife, like she went on a meal plan thing where they like deliver you the food in the morning, you eat healthy and you don't eat outside of that. And she's like, do you want to do it? Do you want to do it? And I felt like just because you're cleaning up your body doesn't mean that I'm obligated to do the same. You know what I mean? And I found myself, my wife does this thing where she'll fall asleep on the couch and then she'll wake up at like 1:30 in the morning and she'll like sleepwalk to the fridge and make herself a snack and then sleepwalk into bed, right? And I try to dissuade her from doing that sometimes. And she'd get mad at me. She would get mad at me, and I'd be like, what am I even doing? Like, why am I even involving myself in her habits? She can do whatever she needs to do.
Correct.
If she's going to sleep, eat, then just let her sleep, eat. So I would say that the general point of this is live your own journey, be your best selves, make each other better, but just because you're being healthy, don't make her feel obligated to do the same. And just because you're being unhealthy, don't judge her for being healthy. Just support each other in whatever decisions y'all make. And don't ever mention that her body's changing. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. Ever do that. I don't care if you have to lie. I don't like to lie in my life, but that's one thing I will straight up lie about. Like, do not ever do that. And let's end this podcast before I get divorced. We'll be back tomorrow. Why is that, Jalen Rose?
We're not done. We're not done. We're not done.